Swing it, baby.
Okay. Hello. So let me just be really honest with you. At first I had on a really super cute outfit, matching earrings, my jewelry, the whole 9 yards. Makeup was on point. But then we had to go to the grocery store. And then we have 2 fabulous little boys that were jumping all over back and forth on couches. And then I got tired because oh yeah, the clock's wrong. It's 9:41 or 42, whichever one you choose. Not 8:41, and their bedtime is 9. So just being as real as possible with you, I put on my pajamas. I didn't fix the makeup. I obviously put up the hair. There are dishes in the dirty. There are dirty dishes in the wash. We went on a trip. We didn't get to do the dishes. Okay. So here's the thing. This is real. You can see all kinds of Food Network shows, of which I'm a Food Network junkie, I must add. And I love them. They're fabulous. They're totally polished. Everybody's perfect and amazing and beautiful. And they don't have 2-year-olds saying, "Hey, I made it." A 3-year-old that's naked and a 2-year-old that lacks pants. We have all of that, and pajamas and dirty dishes. You know why? Because we don't do this for a living. We are a 2-income household, which means that both mom and dad work after 5 every day, because let's be realistic, not everybody's job is 8 to 5. Most of the time it's a lot longer. Also, both mom and dad tend to work sometimes on Saturdays. For the majority of this year, I've been working 6 days, as has my husband, so it's been a little difficult. But either way, so this is real life. The pantsless dirtiness of it all. And the thing is, I know it's really hard to meal prep in real life situations, but here's the deal, is I figured out a way to go ahead and meal prep for everybody in less than an hour. It's all 5 meals for the whole week for lunch, so you don't have to spend money on going out to lunch. You can definitely microwave. I'm sorry, the little one is limboing under the camera right now.
Is 2 cups for Dante?
Yeah, that's a cup for Dante.
Okay, let me put
Real life. Everything that I have, we've got from H-E-B or Walmart, because I'm a Texas girl. Texas people have H-E-B. So, baby spinach, zucchini, asparagus, an onion, mozzarella, yummy, bell peppers. I've got mushrooms. They're pre-washed and pre-sliced, so it helps a lot because it adds a lot of time to your routine to try and have to do all of that. So it helps when you buy pre-washed things. Also, this fabulous marinade that we're going to try today and we haven't tried before. And my water. About this too. Never tried it before. Think it's going to be good. With traditional cooking shows, you typically see everything polished and everything fabulous and everything completely made from scratch, which is awesome, and I would totally love to do that. However, as we mentioned before, working mom status, teacher life, really difficult. Kind of dedicated to the job, dedicated to the lifestyle. It's hard. So, I try and make everything as easy as possible. I think they're okay. All right. I try and make everything as easy as possible, as easy and as fast as possible. So with that comes this whole kind of semi-homemade thing, which I get from Sandra Lee, who is fabulous and amazing, who I kind of try to be like, except without the absolutely perfect figure and amazingly clean, color-coordinated kitchen. Sorry, Sandra, that's not happening here. All right, so I have 2 different cutting boards. One is for meat, one is for veggies. Okay. So I have the chicken over here on my meat cutting board, because like I said, you got 1 cutting board for meat, 1 cutting board for veggies, because it just keeps everything clean that way. The other thing that I normally do is to kind of help with cleanup, is I put foil on 2 different baking sheets. Okay, so I preheat my oven to 375. Wow, 375. So while we're getting everything ready, it'll be preheating. All right, in terms of the chicken, so the way that I do this is I'm trying to keep everything under about 500 calories in terms of the meal itself. Typically they stay around 300, close to 4 sometimes if it's a heavy meal. But I try and keep them low cal, try to stay a little bit more on the low carb side. But you know, you want things to taste good and you want things to be really filling. So, what I do, son of a biscuit, sorry. What I do in terms of this is to kind of visually fool the eye. What I'll do is I cut the chicken in half, but I cut it in half this way, like widthwise, so that it kind of fools the eye into thinking, oh, I'm eating an entire chicken breast. Yum, that's fabulous. Because you eat with your eyes. You don't just eat with your mouth. And a lot of times we tend to fill up a lot earlier than we realize, and it's because our eyes give us the idea of, oh man, I've got to finish this whole plate of food. So that's kind of one of the little tricks that I do also to make everything stretch. I'm going to pre-season everything. Okay, so all that I do is we've got our oven preheating. So now what we got to do is, I don't like to eat the same thing every day because I think that gets boring. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these guys on the baking sheets, and then I'm going to bake them all together, and I'm going to bake them with all of their different seasonings for each. With spinach, mushroom, and cheese on top, I'm going to do one with this bacon aioli, one with the Vella sauce, and then I was thinking one with pepper and onions. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so in terms of that, I know that this one's going to need some garlic salt. This one shouldn't need salt because you've got that bacon going on, and bacon's really salty, so you don't really necessarily need that. This one over here is gonna have the saltiness from the mozzarella, and then I'm gonna put plenty of seasonings. Well, I'm gonna put some seasonings on with the mushroom and such. And this stuff tastes pretty good, so I might just need a little bit of salt and pepper. So I'm gonna kind of choose my seasonings to go with each different meal. So I'm going to definitely use the garlic salt. I'm also going to use probably some garlic and herb seasoning. I'm going to use this stuff. This is some of my favorite stuff. This is like staple of the Mexican household. Okay? So whenever you're seasoning stuff, you definitely need to season the top and the bottom because then you get an uneven season. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of nor on at least a couple of them. Then I'm going to do some of this roasted garlic and herb on a couple of them. And then I'm going to do 2 with garlic salt. Then we're going to flip. Okay, so I've got my veggie cutting board and my veggie knife. And I've got my asparagus. I adore asparagus. So here's what I'm going to do with the asparagus. I'm going to wash it really quickly. Here's the cool thing that you can do with asparagus. In terms of the asparagus, it's pretty cool because it breaks where it's meant to. Wow, see, just like that. It's super easy. And this part right here is really woody and it's not very good to eat. It comes out really chewy and tough. So what I'll do is, I already broke that one. So now I'm going to put a bunch of them close to it, just like this. Line them all up. And then, ta-da! We got it done. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing for everything else. So we've got our cut asparagus. So now, we're just going to stick it on here. And we're actually going to leave this in the oven at the same time as our chicken. Okay, so this also goes in the oven. And this is going to go on the bottom, so it's going to get a little bit more heat. So it's fine that it doesn't necessarily stay in for very long. Okay, all right, moving on. I do a couple of things on the stovetop, which is my zucchinis. I'm going to do my onions and peppers, the mushroom and the spinach. Let's see, we did 17 minutes at about 8 minutes or so. I'm gonna put this onto the chicken so that it can cook with it. And then I'm also going to put this on the chicken so that it can cook with it. So we're gonna do that at about 8 minutes or so. So I've got it at like medium-high heat. I'm gonna wash off my zucchini. So with our zucchini, normally I just do little discs. And then I have, courtesy of La Rachel Ray, instead of a garbage bowl, because that's just an unnecessary dirtying of a dish in my opinion, I got a garbage bag. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and slice my zucchini into little discs. Some of them roll off sometimes, it's all good. I swear, cleaned all this. Okay. Okay, so that's 2 of the zucchini. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and stick them in one of my pans. Pan.
I don't know how you did that, honey.
What?
Last time it was like buried in a...
Trusty garlic salt again. You gotta season everything. I think a lot of times people under-season things and then it doesn't taste very good. Okay, so just go ahead and let all that cooking. I'm gonna finish cutting up my zucchini. Okay. Zucchini's overboard. I've got this triple wash, preservative-free, ready-to-enjoy spinach that I'm just gonna put on there with a little bit of that Pamela. And I'm gonna wilt this whole bag. It's gonna look crazy because it looks like it's a lot, but it really isn't. It wilts really quickly. Remember, this one had the nor, this one has that garlic herb stuff, and these have the garlic salt. So, for the Texas sweet tea marinade, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the garlic salt one. Then I've got this cool little aioli stuff that I'm gonna put on. I'm gonna put it on here.
Nice.
I just put the sweet tea on there, but I'm gonna put it on here too. So I'm gonna put a little bit on there. I'm gonna use the sweet tea one because that one touched the... And literally it's just 2 spoons. It's not that much. And then I'm gonna put some of this spicy bacon stuff that came with it because I thought, hey, that sounds pretty cool. So I got that going. Pop it back in the oven. You see how the spinach is starting to wilt already? Okay. So I've got this wilting. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add a little bit of roasted garlic. And see, this guy is going. They're all pretty good. So I'm gonna put them in a different receptacle. I'm gonna let the chicken hang out there for a little bit. Because remember, we can go 17 to 18 minutes. This is already going over here. It's got its garlic. It's kind of zhuzhing. Look at how small that is now. That's not even that much, right? So now I'm gonna add in my mushrooms. Okay? So I've got garlic in there. I've got spinach. That's literally all I've got. Utilize that same roasted garlic and herb seasoning. So I got that. And then I got my fancy little salt cellar. So we got this guy still going. Now time to take out the chicken. Okay, so all the chicken's out. The chicken looks fantastic. Okay, so under an hour, we've got 6 chicken things done. We've got this going on. Okay, and remember, the cool thing about this is that you're actually doing 5 days worth of meals. You're not doing 1 meal, you're doing 5 meals. So here's another cool little tip. I got these things at Costco.
You did it, baby.
They're perfect for meal prepping. These are all of our zucchini. Bam, they're done. Okay, another big thing that I do that really, really helps, these things are so good. 5 minutes and you have fake cauliflower. I mean, fake rice. But 5 minutes in the fridge and that's it. You literally just stick it in the fridge. God bless America. Okay, so now we can go ahead and kind of start putting our chicken in here. So this is the chicken with the nor. Here is the garlic herb. That's the bacon aioli one. I've got my onion and I've got my peppers still.
You're gonna make me cry, girl.
With an onion, for it to caramelize, it's gonna take a little bit longer because it needs low and slow heat. Okay, so I'm gonna use about 1/4 of this ginormous onion. So with the peppers, they're super simple. You just chop off the top and then you core it. This is all you gotta do. And you chop from the inside because it cuts easier from the inside. The outside is a little bit more waxy and tough. So if you try and cut from the outside, it'll make it more difficult for you to make your cuts. Okay, so if you notice, these strips are kind of similar to the strips that we have for our onions, which means that they're gonna cook a little bit more evenly. Ooh, look, this one had another little pepper growing inside. It was like a mama pepper. Look at that. Dude. Okay, so again, into strips. So I've got all of this fabulousness going in here now. Remember, we didn't even season this. So we need to put some salt in here. Because remember, everything needs to be seasoned because those are layers of flavor that you're gonna end up losing. Moving on. We've got this that's ready, that's ready, and then we've got our rice that's ready also. Okay? So here's what I'm gonna do. This goes on top. Remember, this had the garlic and herb stuff? This goes on top of the garlic herb chicken. Okay? This goes on top of the garlic herb chicken. Whoa, that one went overboard. But that's cool. Just stick it on top. So this goes on top of our garlic herb chicken. Put a little more of that good stuff. And see, it's really not that bad. If you look at that, you're putting a ton of good veggies on top of your chicken. It's all good. And then if we want, like this stuff we can mix with eggs for the morning. Or you can put it on top of a steak. You can do all kinds of good stuff with this. So I'm gonna need to put that in some sort of Tupperware. This guy's still going. So I'm gonna stir it. Okay. Then we've got this cool little riced cauliflower. All right. The other thing about this one isn't 100% ready yet. We're gonna put a little bit of cheese on top. Not very much because I don't want to add too many calories to this, and I know that sounds really lame, like, oh, I don't want to add calories, but you know, we are kind of meal prepping and trying to stay a little healthy. So I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on there. Whoa. And so then when you microwave it, it's awesome and it melts and it gets all gooey and fabulous. So that wasn't very much cheese on there either. It's just kind of clumped together, so sorry, it looks warm. It looks a little more than it is. Okay, so then we've got the nor ones, which has the onions and the bell peppers that are cooking on there for that. This awesome garlic aioli that's going on. Okay, so now what we can do is we can add some of these asparagus. So I've got a bunch of asparagus here. Put it on the side here, put it on the side here. Fabulous! So I've got some on the side for this one. This side, this side. What do you think?
I think the right side.
My right or your right?
The first right. You're right.
My right.
No,
so over here? Right. You're right. Okay.
My right.
So we got that going. Remember, we also have the zucchini. So we got some zucchini to put on there. Okay. So, Basically, I put peppers and onions on top of here. I put a little bit of cheese because I'm a cheese person. And then I put some rice over here. So it's kind of like arroz con pollo. This one here is obviously the spinach mushroom with garlic and herb. And then you've got your asparagus and your zucchini. And then over here you've got your bacon aioli and asparagus and zucchini. So I've got all of this. This one's the sweet tea one that's kind of like my sample that I don't know about, that I've never tried before. So I'm gonna put some zucchini with this guy. All right, so I know I promised you a week's worth of meals in less than an hour. Technically, I took an hour and 10 minutes. And that was with first time filming. That was with introductions to ingredients that I typically don't do. But I also had little baby interruptions, which we always have. So understand that most of the time I can get this done in less than an hour, and I'm sure with a lot of practice I'll be able to do it better again. But I hope you enjoyed it. 6 meals in an hour and 10 minutes-ish. They're pretty decent. Not too high in calories. The way that I figure out the calories is stick it into my little Fit Foods app. But not too bad. Not too shabby, huh? For the entire week. All right. So, this was real. Thank you. So, if you like what you saw today, do me a favor and subscribe, please, and like and tell your friends and spread the word, because if I can do this with 2 kids working 6 days a week until at least about 7 o'clock, 7:30 every night, you can totally do this. It's really easy. It's not that hard. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't get stuff done, because you can totally rock it. All right? So hope to see you again, and we'll see what we have on tap for next time. Thank you.
Oh.